All right, let's go ahead and get started. How to make a ripple effect with your creative practice. Amazing. We're going to be talking about how to find your ideal clients because I'm assuming all of you are creatives here and I want to hear all about what you're doing. We're going to talk about how to show up consistently without overwhelm. We're also going to talk about money because I think a lot of you are here is because you want to make money, right? And we're going to talk about different ways of making money, but also our relationship with it, because that's incredibly powerful. That's pretty much how you're going to manifest the money. Okay. So, my intention is to support you in that practice of making money. So, I want to get to know you a little bit so that I can be of service in this 1 hour presentation. And I would love to know who you are. So you can go ahead and put that in the chat. And I'd also like to know what is your either your idea about your creative business or what have you already started and where you're at with your creative business. Okay. Just to let you know at the end, I am going to this does lead to my Thriving Creative course that's starting in May, which I've been doing for a few years now, and it's really awesome where I support other creatives. But I do want to give you tools today to use that you can take with you. But if you'd like to dive deeper, I could support you. If you're looking for a mentor or a guide, be happy to support you in that. So I don't see anything in the chat yet. So I'm an expressive arts therapist and a psychologist. Okay, cool. So are you looking to gain individual clients, or you want to do courses? Are you wanting to do a membership? What is it that where you're at in your business? Tell me about your business, what it is that you would like to do, or what would you like to offer? Diana says, I'm a healing arts practitioner, coach, and artist working on creating merch and low content books, journals, want to do art coaching groups and sessions using artist healing modality. Beautiful. All right. Very clear. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, right. I'm a LCSW, an art therapist. I like to offer creative expressive arts groups. Beautiful. I want individual art-based clients and I want to do art-based community work. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for letting me know. We got to be clear about what we want and what direction we want to go, and especially where you need support too. It says I'm a photographer, started a school program. I want to start incorporating art therapy for kids. I also women's circles and want to do art as a tool. Oh, art therapy as a tool. Okay, we're going to talk about the difference between an art facilitator and an art therapist as well in this discussion, because there is a difference. And I want you all to be clear because I am a board certified art therapist. And I wanted to make sure that you understand the difference between doing workshops that are art based, that could be therapeutic in nature, it could be healing, but it wouldn't necessarily be art therapy. Okay, so I really want you to understand the difference. So we will discuss that today. And Jimena said she'd like to create online content to inspire others and create and feel through art. Okay. And Jessica is an art therapist, and I have individual clients facilitated art groups and personal growth. I like to focus on online business. Amazing. I've had many art therapists in the business course who went from in person to online and established themselves that way. And Veronica, she says, I'm in yoga meditation teacher for over 14 years. Until now, I do art for my own healing journey, and I'm pondering how to integrate into my work. Awesome. All right. We have one other person, Rochelle or Rachel. She says, I'm an art therapist and counselor in virtual practice, working individually with young women navigating life transitions. My daughter is coming up on a year old and looking to expand my practice with more flexible hours, since my availability looks different these days. Yeah, most definitely. I understand. Okay. Thank you all for sharing so that we can kind of see we have a mixed experience of artists or therapists. Some people want to work online, some people want to work in groups. And so what we're going to go over today is going to be pretty much for both. Okay. So I want to just talk a little bit about who I am and what I'm been doing the past few years. So I've been a board certified art therapist. I went and got my master's in art therapy over 20 years ago. I've been practicing for 21 years now. I can't believe it. And I got my undergraduate in studio sculpture. Um, and in the past, I want to say within like the past 10 years, I started, I had a dark night of my soul where there was a period where I was totally burned out. And I really wanted to make a change in my life. I've actually been working in the public schools for 20 years. I go to different schools and private therapy services. And it was, I want to say about 8 years ago, way before, telehealth got popular. I was doing art therapy online. And it it was really powerful for me. I still practice online as well, but the part of it where I really wanted to make a bigger impact. So I started writing books and to reach more people. And so since that time, I have 4 books that are out. I have a children's book that's not on here. It's called Rad is Mad. That was the first one that I wrote when I was in my dark night of the soul. It's about this little monster truck who was mad and sad. His name was Rad. Rad is Mad. And it was all about self-care, about how to deal with those feelings. And the truth is, I wasn't doing my own self-care. And I had to get back into my art making for self-care. And from that point, I knew that I wanted to help others do the same, right? And so that's where the books came into place of writing the Essential Art Therapy book, which has been written in over 6 different languages. The Art of Healing and Manifesting book, which we use the chakras and different law of attraction techniques. And I have another book coming out this fall. And it's going to be more with working with children. Okay. Art as therapy with children. So, so in this process, this is where of like showing up online, talking to people, co-creating. This is where I founded this Creative Soul Society. So it'll be 4 years this summer. And I can't believe it. It's been 3.5 years now. And this is the place where I invite other artists, I invite other art therapists to share their gifts, share their knowledge. We just actually met about an hour and a half ago and had another art therapist. She did a soul collage with us and it was really powerful and moving. So this is just an opportunity for, as the facilitators, as these leaders, to come together as well and learn techniques and tools for our own self-care, because we have to practice, right? So really how this all started was of me wanting to do even a business course is because I was doing this art therapy with my clients, and they would get to a point where they've done the healing and they feel really good. And I work with a lot of art therapists and psychologists as well. And when they've done the work, they want to share their gifts in another way. They're like, how do I show up? So the part of me showing up after that dark night of the soul, the big awakening was I need to show up bigger. So the books came about showing up bigger, but I also wanted to learn marketing strategies because in my undergraduate and in my graduate degree, they didn't teach us anything. They didn't prepare me or any of my colleagues, and I understand that they still don't do this. They don't teach you how to market yourself, meaning that it's like they teach you all these beautiful skills of how to make an amazing painting or learning all the theoretical backgrounds of different approaches. But yet, how do you go out into the world and say, this is my message? This is how what I'm doing is going to help you heal, or this is going to help you with your life, right? So part of that process led me on a journey of that, not only self-discovery, but doing the work of learning how to market, taking a lot of courses, and able to build a multiple 6-figure business. And I'm really proud of that. And I'm really excited to share that with others, with other creatives who want to level up, okay? And teach you how to make multiple income streams, because it's important. As these light workers, I want you to have those tools, right? And a part of it is investing in yourself. So for everyone that I've had as a mentor or a guide, I've learned something that took me to that next level. And I'm still teaching myself to get to that next level, okay? So it's really important of self-development and learning. I'm going to just check the chat really quick. Oh, someone said they had to leave, would like to watch the replay. Most definitely. Ah, all right. So we're going to keep going on. So your vision is super important, and creating opportunities for getting your vision out there is super important. Okay. So we're going to talk about the different ways that you can do that. So this slide right here, I wanted to go over this real quick just so that you have some clarity about like what I teach and what I do, and then what you can do as well. So I did mention I am an art therapist, a board certified art therapist. I've been practicing for a really long time. And I have my master's degree in it, right? And so some people ask me, like, do you teach art therapy? And I'm like, no, I don't do that, but I do offer online art therapy for those who are going through an emotional time, whether it's divorce or grief or traumatic brain injuries, or they're needing some support in their life. I'm trained to do that, right? So I have my credentials, I have my supervision hours. I'm trained in different theoretical approaches that will address the mental health part, right? So if someone were to become suicidal, I would know what to do. Okay. So things can get really heavy when you bring up the art, right? When you bring up certain exercises or things to work on, you need to learn how to move people through the journey to get to that other side for that transformation, right? So I teach the tools for emotional regulation to process art and life and the challenges that come with it. Okay. So the other part is the creative coach. And who is a creative coach? So this is someone that has life experience. We all have life experiences, right? So like a lot of times I'll talk about my dark night of the soul where I got totally burned out, where I wasn't taking care of myself. And I actually had to go see an art therapist because that's what I needed at the time. But your life experience could be anything. I've worked in my course. I've had one person who she was in recovery. She was an addict. And then from taking my course, she would learn the tools of how to market herself. And she actually does art groups now in the field of recovery. She goes to the organizations and she leads art groups for people in recovery. Okay. So her story is her message, right? Her story is that she finds her niche of people who she resonates with, and she's able to support those people as well. Okay. So I have a lot of creatives that I work with that do that. So you could go as a life coach, art facilitator, healer, or guide. You have an artistic background. You like to do art for self-care, and just making art in itself is beneficial. Okay. It is 45 minutes of art making will reduce cortisol levels. So cortisol level is that stress hormone, and it will decrease. They've done studies, they've done research on it, right? So that part's cool. No matter if you're doing art therapy or if you're doing art in itself, art making is calms you down. The art therapy part is processing those traumas. I'm really relating it back to, if there's any kind of like emotional, physical, sexual abuses, things that have happened, being able to do art about it and being able to have that transformation. Okay. So I just want you to be clear as you show up in the world that you're giving yourself a title that represents. Okay. Because I know there's a lot of really misinformation out there, especially with art therapy, of what it is and who can say that they're doing it. Okay. Are we good with that? Does that make sense? Or you guys can let me know in the chat and I can clarify. I feel like it's my responsibility to do that as an art therapist, because there's so many people who are confused about the confession, like the profession, and going about it. So if you have a question about it, please let me know. And I know it works differently in many different countries, but I think the United States is pretty clear about their standards here. Okay, so I don't have anyone in the chat message. Oh, here's got a message. Let me see. What opportunities have been available after getting your ATRBC compared to having your ATR? Yeah, so one of the opportunities that I have as an ATRBC is that I get to supervise other art therapists. meaning that I have art therapists that have actually taken my year-long program called the Art of Healing and Manifesting, and they're getting their supervision hours by working with me. And then I can provide support, professional support, but also supervision hours. So there is an art therapy supervision training, but once you have your ATR BC, you'll be that person being able to provide that supervision. So I think that is one plus. Also, there's certain states that are starting to license, and I think you might need your BC just to have that, but that's not clear in all states. That's just kind of gray area right now. All right, yeah, so if you have questions along the way, please let me know. Oh, Kat says, is becoming an art therapist possible without a master's degree? No. So that's the whole point of getting the master's degree, so that it is it has certain standards, right? So that you have the education and the knowledge base and the practicum, the supervision hours, that you're actually going into places and you have a supervisor saying, this is how you're going to be able to guide them, versus just going out and taking a 2-hour course for $20 and saying I'm an art therapist. Okay. So it's very rigorous, and it's, it takes a lot of time to get your master's in art therapy, but there's a reason for it, so that you are prepared, and so that you can actually support people in that way. Okay. So, yeah, we would have to get your master's in art therapy. Okay. So let's talk about finding your ideal clients. So I'm going to just stop my share right here. Look at these happy women. Woohoo. I'm going to stop my share. Okay. So this is when I meet with creatives. This is where a lot of people get stuck. Okay. Meaning that creatives think, oh my goodness, I'm going to make this course and it's going to be so perfect and so beautiful. And they work like a year on it. And then they're ready to put it out in the world. And they're like, how do I do it? How do I let people know to buy my stuff? Right. And I want to it always kind of shocks me. It's like, that's not the best way to do it. Or they want to work on their site for like a year, which takes a long, your website is usually a work in progress. It doesn't really end, but they want to get that all ready first, put all their energy there. And then they're like, okay, I'm ready. Well, how do I find my people? Right. So this is like the biggest block or challenge that I see people or creatives that I work with, is like, okay, that's really not where you want to start. Okay. So I made a little chart for you all. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. I need to make it closer. Let me see. Make it a little closer. Okay. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so I made a little 4-step chart. This is a little success platform here of what really you need to focus on. Okay, because you can make the most beautiful product or offer. You could become a psychologist, even an art therapist, and you go out into the world and you're like, what do I do next? That's just what I experienced. I remember 21 years ago going out and being like, oh my gosh, well, how do I market myself? How do I even find people to, put my art into the world, or my art therapy practice into the world? So what I've learned and what I've been practicing since I started showing up online is building community. That's number one, because you need a community to serve. You need a community to find out what their needs are so that you can co-create with them. So this is number one. So this could be done through a Facebook group, can be done through Instagram. It's about nurturing them, inspiring them, educating them, and then connecting with them, because connection is currency. You're finding out what their needs are and what their wants are. The whole reason I even created my Thriving Creative course is because I found out that other creatives have the same needs of, they don't know how to market themselves, put them out in the world and to make money. So that's what I was like, well, I could create a course and implement all this in a way and then teach it, right? So this is where is the most important part. Okay. So I would like to know here, who has done the first step? Have you all done that? Okay, Ficus is starting. I have a Facebook allergy I have to overcome. Okay, so this is the part where community is, you could create it yourself. So for me, like coming out online in the social world, like if I'm my regular Facebook group, like personal page, I honestly don't have a lot of people that like the same things as me. I mean, I have people from like high school and I have my family, things like that, but are they really into like the chakras and energy work and art therapy and things like that, the things that I like to talk about? Not necessarily. So that is one of the reasons why I created my own Facebook group called the Creative Soul Online Retreat, so that we can meet and make art together and have fun and share our, what's going on in our lives, right? So that's why I start with my community and I co-create with them. I ask them, hey, what do you guys want to learn about? Inner child healing. Okay, let's invite a presenter in, right? I'm co-creating with them. So if it's not, if that doesn't resonate with you, then like Deanna says, you can also go to the source, meaning that the source of wherever your people are. For example, you might be a creative and you want to connect with like, but you're also a homeschool mom, right? And you have a whole community of homeschool moms, but you're seeing where their pain point is. And you're like, oh, wait, I have something I could do. They need more self-care. I could create a group or a class or a course or a time where we can all meet and we can do that art for self-care. Okay. So sometimes you already have a community that you're connected with, and you just go to that source and say, hey, this is what I have to offer. Okay. So this is where, you got to be clear about who you want to call in, right? Knowing who your ideal clients are. What are they about? Right? What are you about? Right? And as you show up as a leader, as a person that wants to hold space for other people or create for other people and make offers, you get your message out. And you might not know your message at first, but as you show up and you speak, your message will eventually come. That's why it's so important to show up and talk about what interests you. I was going to read what Kat wrote really quick. I would do the master's in a heartbeat if it wasn't so cost investment heavy. Being in the US is so fun. Also, I'm in the progress with community, but it feels like a little slow after going for a big move from Utah to Washington and working on continuing co-create and possibly build my own community. I'm quite shy. Yeah. So a lot of times that imposter syndrome will come up or that shyness. And even though it's a challenge, I honestly, I understand. I was super shy coming out like on Facebook. I remember the first time I even posted my art on Facebook, I like ran and hid under the covers. Like I was scared. I was scared about doing videos. But honestly, the thing is, if I didn't show up for myself, I would never be able to find my clients. I would never be able to show up for them and then see the transformation and the impact and support that I've been able to make with them if I didn't show up. So I had to get it in my own way. I had to move my ego out of the way. I had to do a lot of inner work, right? So a lot of times when I do my Thriving Creative course, I'll get people signed up and sometimes they haven't done the inner work yet. They haven't kind of dealt with the big fears. And it's like, if you have a lot of emotional stuff going on, do that first and then show up to do your business, because your business is going to bring up stuff and you got to have the tools to deal with it, right? You're going to be challenged. You're going to be, just looking at your relationship with money. I'm going to go into like offers next, okay? Because like you have your community, and the next part is making an offer to your community with that co-creation. And then having that relationship with money, right? This is where another block that I see with creatives is that they don't have a relationship with money. They don't want to put a price on their work. They don't feel worthy of their work. And this is something that you really have to give attention to. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, how would someone else be willing to invest in you? Right? So it's important to invest in yourself. It's important to have a relationship with money and then know that what you're offering is worthy of that exchange. It's just an energy exchange. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and read Beth's comment. I've always been more of a lone wolf. I don't know if I'm able to build a community. I've tried unsuccessfully. Okay, so maybe you haven't had all the skills yet to do it, right? Sometimes we think we know that we can do things on our own, right? As a lone wolf, but you didn't have the right tools or know-how to connect with your community, to build engagement with your community. Asking powerful questions, being of interest of what they're interested in, right? Sharing of yourself. Those things are really, really important in building a community. And that's when people know you, like you, and trust you, right? They're only going to buy from you is when they do know you, like you, and trust you. And that's why it's so important to show up as a leader in your community so that they could say, oh, this is someone that I want to meet with, or someone that I want to learn from, or I want to have fun with, right? You want to be creative and have art groups and go in that direction. Okay, so I feel like probably, Beth, you're just missing some skills or tools to nurture their community. Okay. And I've seen people where they built their community and then they just stopped. They just stop. Like, meaning that they haven't actually have someone that's going to be joining our course in May that we're going to be starting. And she has a community already, but she hasn't talked to it in like 2 years. And I was like, what? You got to nurture them. You got to come back and let's re-engage, right? So that when you know where they're at, you know where their needs are, you're going to be able to co-create with them. She had created all these courses, but she didn't market it to them. But then she wasn't co-creating. So that's what I'm saying. That's the missing gap, is like you have discussions with people. You understand where they're at so that you can co-create with them. Okay. Jessica says, I don't have a community group yet. I do have an active Instagram and Facebook page, and I sent newsletter. I'm thinking of starting a Facebook group. Yeah, I love my Facebook group. It's super engaging. They're always posting art. Like even today, they're posting their art from today. Okay, so going to your offers and being able to make your offer to your community, right? So what I like to teach, and this is what I teach in my course, is about making bundles, packages, especially working one-to-one. Like I believe in multiple income streams. I think that it's important to have different ways to make money. And so I'm going to show you kind of some examples of like how I make my money and how you can do it too. Okay. So for example, what if you wanted to like go on a vacation and it cost about $5,000, right? And you're like, well, how can I make $5,000? Well, if you did a membership group and it was $40 to be a member, and you had 12 members, and they stayed the whole year. So that would be $480 times 12, because there's 12 months. That's $5,760, right? So you don't have to have a big group, but you could have 12 people that are willing to commit, because you're willing to commit to show up with them, right, on a monthly basis. And you can serve on a monthly basis, and you could be able to go that trip to Europe or wherever you want to go. Okay. So we got to get clear with our numbers. The universe loves that. What's the numbers? What number do you want to call in? Well, maybe you want to make more money. Maybe you want to make 100,000. Okay. Well, what does that look like? So another way to do it is, what if I sold a $2,800 package, $2,800 package? That's how much I charge for my art therapy services. It's 14 sessions, and I give them a full year of the Creative Soul Society membership as a bonus, because after that 14 sessions, that 3 months of meeting with me, then they have that full year of being in our amazing community. So how much does that cost? Well, 2,800 times, and how many people? Well, every time I do a launch, I sell about 10. So 2,800 times 10, it's 28,000. Well, what if I did my launch? I'm not calling launch. I'm talking about presentations, showing up on free experiences. What if I did that 4 times? Well, that's $112,000. Okay. So part of my Thriving Creative course, I teach you how to make packages and how to put it as a bundle. Okay. How to make it like really juicy and yummy so that people want to get experiences from different places and learn a lot of stuff. I'm going to give you an example that I got from Russell Brunson. He's the owner of ClickFunnels. That's the site that I used to host my website and membership and everything. And he described it like going on a date. He's like, okay, what if you go on a date and you're like, do you want to go to the movies? And they're like, yeah, sure. So you just go to the movies and then it's over. And we're like, okay, I went to the movies, right? That's like selling one thing, right? That's just selling one painting class, right? But what is that? No, you want to offer a package, an experience, like something that they're like want to come back to. For example, hey, you want to go on a date? Sure. Well, what do you want to do? Well, we could go out to dinner first. Then we could go to the movies. Then we could go get some ice cream afterwards. And then if you want, maybe we can go on a stroll on the beach or, go somewhere where we can shop or do something fun. And hey, that sounds great, right? Doesn't that sound like an experience of something that you'd like to maybe go on a second date with, right? So it's learning how to make offers that are irresistible, that people want to work with you more than one time. Like my clients, I usually work with them in many different capacities, meaning that they'll usually stay on my membership, or they'll take my Thriving Creative course, or they'll buy, I have little courses that I've made that they'll purchase those too, or my books, or different things that I offer, because I like to make it a part of, if they're getting like a different, like a full experience, not just like a one-time thing, right? So it's looking at different offers, like smaller scale things, freebies, and then going up a little bit more. They call them like sexy little offers, something a little bit more, maybe like $33, and then going into larger packages that people can work with you deeper. Okay. So this is where a lot of the creatives that I work with, they need a lot of support with this, because they're not clear about how to put a number to their offers, or how to bundle it, and getting clear with how much money they actually want to bring in, because that's important. How much do you want to make, and then what are the numbers to match it, right? How many people would you need to purchase that, right? And you got to show up, right? You got to show up. So part of the course that I teach, I show you how to do that, right? I show you how to have a marketing plan. So that's next. That's number 3 of this success path. The marketing plan. So the marketing plan is being able to look at your year and say, hey, I want to be present. I want to show up so that these people know. So whether it's online or it could be in person, you can be present in person. You got to actually show up to let people know that you have something, right? To that source. And you got to be consistent. You don't just show up one time. That's another block that I see a lot of creatives do, that they'll just do like either one launch. They'll say, oh my God, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do a free experience online. And they only do it one time. And it's like, no one's going to get to know you like you trust you if you only do it one time. You have to be consistent within yourself so that people will want to invest. For example, in any kind of marketing, when you go to Facebook and you see a cute pair of shoes and you're like, oh, that's cute, and you like it, or you might click the shop now and it goes away, right? You didn't buy it. But the reason they have bots that come and show it to you on your Instagram, your Facebook, you might get it in your emails, the reason that it's happening is because, and you have to see it like 10 to 12 times before it registers in your head that you need it in your life. The same works with you and your message. People need to see you 10 to 12 times. And it's totally normal to be ignored at first. Most people will cut themselves off feeling that they're not worthy and nobody cares. But the truth is, they'll see you, but they might not take an action, right? But they need to see you again and again. And then they'll be like, wow, she's really showing up. What is her message? What is she talking about? Right? And then they start leaning in. And then they will invest. Okay. I've seen it with even my own business. I started off very, very slow. When I first launched that I had one person sign up, and that just gave me that confidence and boost. I'm like, okay, if I can get one person, I can do this again. And then it came again. So it's being able to get through the doubt, right? But you got to show up. Okay. So that's what I also teach about how to create a launch, how to show up as a leader, how to have a presentation. So whether that presentation is in person or whether it's online, there is a structure so that people will remember to show up for you, and that you have something to present that's going to lead to your offer. Okay. And also how to write emails. I think emails are another hard one for creatives. And I have to say, I admit sometimes they're really hard for me, but now I have a different relationship with them. And it's, just an opportunity to share the love, right? And this is one of the key components of having a business. And if you're going to have a business and make money, every business has an email, right? Every business is putting them out there. So it's key to have a mailing list and setting that up, so that you communicate with your people, right? You can't have a community if you don't have a way to communicate with them and then be able to make offers, right? Okay, are you guys getting what I'm talking about? Is this making sense? Yeah, okay, cool. How are we with offers? Have you gotten to the point where you've have offers or made offers? Yeah, you definitely have to. Just reading what Kat said, this is such a beautiful confirmation of me being on the right path. Thank you. I feel like I'm building my toolkit among ongoing mindset work. Need better to engage and nurture my socials on our page. Yeah. And the reason I even do my Thriving Creative course, and I totally admit to this, is that it keeps me on track of being able to have accountability, because I do launches, meaning that like this is part of my launch. My emotionally healing retreat is part of my launch. This is when I call in people to work with, right? And part of the business part is that I'm teaching the skills, but I have to practice it too, right? And so that part keeps me accountable and showing up and experimenting to see what works and what doesn't work. Diana says, I'm getting a lot of ideas for offers, little art magic treats. Okay, a lot of ideas. I like that. Yeah. And also seeing what your people like. I'm saying, don't do it in a lone wolf. You don't want to make something and then just be like, here it is. It's important to co-create to see what their needs are. Joanna says, no offers or community yet, just have ideas percolating. Okay. Yeah. So I had an art therapist this last round, and she was actually in a state of kind of like burnout, I guess you could say. And she was, working her day job, and she's like wanting to do a private practice. And it was cool seeing her during the 8 weeks of how she'd been like practice self-care, but also be able to find her offers and then find things that she like create a marketing plan so that she knew the people she wanted to work with. She actually wants to work in the VA. This is Sarah. She works in the VA, but she wants to be out more in the community because she works online, and she wants to be in the community doing art groups. So she was able to make a marketing plan so that she could go to the source so that they would be able to find her. And then she knew how much money she wants to make, how she's going to price it, how she can do her individual packaging, and move forward with that. Because a lot of times we don't know until we do it and we find out what doesn't work. Even for me, like when I first started coming online and saying, oh yeah, I'm going to just have a client and work with them individually, and then they'll just pay one time. Well, guess what? They might cancel on you that second time. And it doesn't work that way. You can't have transformation from a one-time session. It has to be a commitment, right? And so this is why I work with people in longer terms, so that they will commit to themselves, but also to their transformation, right? So that's another reason why packages are so important, and putting together a package that they're going to want to invest in, right? Jessica says, no online products yet to sell, how to start with or what to start. Yeah, so this is really looking at what your magic sauce is, right? What it is that you are interested in, and your community. This is why it's important to start with the community so that you can find out what their needs and their interests are, right? Rachel says, definitely in the planning phase of creating offers, but haven't set up a specific structure for them just yet. Hopefully to begin this summer. Okay. So you guys are just starting out. There's anyone a little bit further along that feels like they're more clear about their offers? So every group that I've done is different. Sometimes I have artists, sometimes I have art. Last group I had like 5 art therapists in the Thriving Creative course. Time before that, I think I had like 16 artists and art therapists. So it kind of switches every time. So this group coming up that we're going to be starting in May actually already has 2 art therapists and 2 artists. So the vibe is always different. People are always in different places, like meaning that there might be someone that wants to start a membership, right? And what's beautiful about memberships is, and this is why I want to grow my membership, is that I can only see a certain number of clients in my week. And so I'm capped out. I can only make this much money because I can only see this much. But with my membership, I can reach so many more people because I know that for me, I will show up and I'll schedule with other artists and art therapists that are going to present, or if I'm presenting, but people can either watch the replays or they can show up online. It's up to them, right? But I can have as many people as I want and I can grow my membership and I can make more money that way. So it's really about getting to the math part too, of getting clear about like what your offers are and what feels good for you as you put it out into the world. Okay, so I'm kind of curious. So you don't have an online product yet or start with, so you're kind of starting. So what is included in your membership? Yeah, so in my membership, you get the back end access of all that content for the past 3 years. You can show up to our live sessions. We had one today, which was awesome. Yeah, and then I also I'm actually creating products and I'm going to be giving them out as gifts to my members, right? So part of that stuff is leveling up, right? So this is something else that's included in my course, is learning systems, right? Learning systems of like how I structure my membership so that there's a flow, right? So I don't have to do all the work myself. Like I have a team that actually makes the flyers or puts together all the back end tech. I didn't start off that way. When I first started off, it was just me creating the Zoom link and showing up, just very simple, like I did today, and put an email out there. But now I've been able to grow so that I can hire a team and put systems together. So leveling up, if you do want to make more money, this is where you put systems in place. You can have funnels, which I could teach about. Funnels is like being able to reach people and then you're funneling them in, you're nurturing them and then funneling them so that they are buying your product, right? So this is more the advanced. I do advanced work for those who are interested in going to that next level and teaching you about how to grow your membership, giving you those tips and tricks about, if you want to multiply, this is the way you go about it, right? The right messaging and the wording to bring people in. Okay. Rachel says, I'm really saying I can only do so much seeing clients individually. Yeah. And so then that caps you on how much you can make, but you can make infinite amount through the membership. Kat says, I'm an artist and I have a budding small business that I offer metaphysical art and tarot reading through email, but expanding to make the income I need has been a bit unknown slate. That's definitely a bit of why I'm here. Okay, so you're looking for some clarity and guidance about how to reach people, right? Okay, so tell me your questions that you have so far. I know I've talked a lot, kind of like the structure of like what's really important, because a lot of times people think, oh, I just need to get my website done, or oh, I just need to make my course, and then ta-da. And that's not really how it goes. You really need people to sell it to, or at least be very clear about their pain points, who they are. I help you with that in my course, building that community and getting clear about how to message them and talk to them so that you're being of service. So I'm kind of curious, what questions kind of are coming up for you? If you have any, you can put them in the chat. No questions. All right. So be curious. All right. A part of, if you really want a business, be curious. And I say that because everything that you do or put out there, you don't know if people are going to like it. And I remember that was one of my fears of even putting myself out there, is like, well, what if I fail? What if I mess up? What if I spell words wrong in my email? Right. Or I used to be so terrified of that. And guess what? I've done all of it. I've messed up. I've spelled things wrong. I've had things that didn't work out, but I got curious. And every time I stay curious, I'm like, well, that didn't work. How can I make this better? Right. And I still stay curious so that I can make it better. And I do continuously try to improve or tweak to make things better. Right. Do you have more clients community as an art therapist or art coach? Do you have more clients community as an art therapist or art coach? I don't think it matters. What matters is your confidence. What matters is your messaging. What matters is you showing up so that people like you. I mean, people who are art coaches who are showing up and, being authentic can be very magnetic. Art therapists who have lots of knowledge, but who are showing up, right? People, you can't, if you're not showing up, how are people going to find you? That's my big message here, is that it does not matter your title. I don't think it matters. You're going to get clients when you have something that's worthy and irresistible for them to buy from you, right? So it's really creating that offer that's going to be like a juicy date, a fun date. How to invite people to art-based community? Okay, well, that's definitely something that I talk about in my course that I'm coming up. Do you guys want to hear more about the course? Are you interested? How to reach potential clients? Yeah. So, okay. Jimena says yes, that's it. Okay. Because how to reach potential clients? Everything that I've talked about is about reaching your potential clients. It's either you're building it yourself, meaning that like you're inviting people into your community, you're showing up and saying, hey, I'm having a free masterclass. Hey, I did that today. You guys showed up. Hey, I'm having a free online retreat. I've had thousands of people show up to that, right? I've done it like many times. It's not like I just did it once. I've been doing it for a few years, right? So I'm building as I'm going, right? And this is the consistency. You don't just do something one time. That's how you reach your potential clients. And then you make an offer, right? It's the same thing. How do you invite people to Art Babes community? It's the same. You're inviting them in, just like you're inviting a friend to a party. Hey, do you want to come? You want to come check this out? This is what's happening here. So I can show you how to do that in your Facebook group. Wondering how you approach virtual workshops as an art therapist. Do you market these services, artist therapy, so you're able to provide to those outside of your state? Do you document this as well, figuring out this piece of myself that I work towards my ATRBC? Yeah, I don't say I'm doing art therapy. I just say I'm doing a emotional healing art retreat. Because when I have 300 people on an online virtual thing and I'm calling up one person to share their art, or two people, is that art therapy? No, right? I'm guiding them through an experience, right? So it's your language. If you're an art therapist and you're providing art therapy, then that's totally different. Okay. I'm going to share my screen again. Oh, hold on. I like this slide. I'll share it with you. It says, be a leader with all your magic. Your uniqueness is what they want. Someone just asked, would they hire me if I'm an artist or an art therapist? It doesn't matter. Be unique. Share your story. Make your mission bigger than your fear, right? That's what's important. And what is your vision, right? If you want to make art about this, do it. Make art about it. Get clear about your vision. Who do you want to call in? What's your community going to be like? Who do you want to work with? What lights you up? I love working with creatives. I think it's amazing. Okay. So we said yes on sharing. I will share. So we just talked about how to find your ideal clients. I hope you guys are clear about that. Going to the source of a community that's already established, or creating your own community, being a leader in your community. You got to show up so people know you, like you, trust you, and you got to show up consistently. You don't do something one time, right? So you make it a marketing plan that is going to flow. And then we do that in the back end of the Thriving Creative course. I show you how to do that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Art of Healing and Manifesting program. Okay. I'm going to share this. How do I make it presentation mode? Oh, it's right there. Okay. So the people that I've worked with, I had mentioned I work with artists, creative coaches, therapeutic guides, I don't know, whatever you want to title yourself. And I've worked with our therapist, right? Everyone's come from a different place, meaning like Dakota. She was in this last round and she just wanted to have some clients. And so she got an office space. And during this time together, she was able to manifest like 5 individual clients. That was really important to her because she had a day job and she wanted to do private practice. So now it's building that consistency in her marketing plan. She was able to do that. Or Jen Colombo, she was an artist and she didn't realize this at the beginning when we started working together. She wanted to go to business owners and have them create their own Oracle decks and journals because she was a product creator. So we created a business plan around that so that, as a business owner, you want to be able to give your people goodies, right? So looking at that, and even Becca, who's in my Creative Soul Society member, she's one of our founding members, and she's running some of the groups now. She actually has, she's done the Thriving Creative course, and she's done, she does sip and paint parties, right? So she didn't have an email list when she first started. Now she knows how to write emails. Now she knows how to be consistent with her emails. Now she has sold out paint and sip parties like several times every week where she didn't have to do her little day job that she didn't like anymore, right? So she's just doing that. And so you could take the framework and then apply it to whatever you want, because business is business, right? You have to have a marketing plan in order to be able to reach your people and make your offer really yummy, right? And that's what's cool about the Thriving Creative course is it's an 8-week course. We're going to be starting the first Saturday of May, and it goes through June. We meet every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's an hour and a half, and I teach you skills. So part of it is teaching. The other part is round robin. So you really get to hear from the other creatives of where they're at, and you get to brainstorm with each other saying, hey, do you like my flyer? Hey, do you like this product? Hey, so you get that accountability, but you also get to share with other creatives and get their feedback of what looks good or what feels good. Part of the program that I created was, well, actually, I put it aside as a package. Remember, like the whole date thing of putting it all together, make it more juicy, is I also do the Creative Soul Society membership. So if you were to be a part of this, either the year program, which is 3 sessions of the Thriving Creative course, where you get to learn the skills and you go out into the world and you practice them, and then you come back and practice the skills and you do it again. And you even get to present in the Creative Soul Society membership. Actually, Luna did the Thriving Creative course, and she made a card deck and she presented it today, right? So she learned the marketing skills in the course, right? So part of it, you do get a year of the Creative Soul Society membership, and you get coaching. For me, the programs that I've been to, like the business coaching and things like that, I've done like online stuff, but the ones that like really resonated me were the individual. Like I love the groups, but I also love the individual, because then I can get a little bit more clarity about like what am I missing? Is it the words? Is it my messaging? Got rid of my imposter syndrome, because when I first started, I had a lot of doubt. And so this is part of the bonuses. in the back end of the site, if you guys want to participate in this, you get the social media marketing plan, which has 100 ideas how to show up, right? Of just fun different things that you could show up and do. How to overcome imposter syndrome, tackle procrastination. I give you content and lesson plans if you'd like to do, working in groups, how to price your services, where to find your client resources. We have a list of resources, a framework guide checklist, very similar to like this. What are we doing here? An email layout so that you know how to talk to people, right? So this is for our therapists, coaches, art facilitators, artists. If you want to grow your business, private practice, if you want a course, membership, if you want to write books, all of these are interrelated. Even like my Art of Healing and Manifesting book, that came from my membership because I was practicing these chakra courses. I was doing them every week and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so fun to just put it into a book. And then it came to a book, right? So it's like everything is interrelates and it's so fun how it can evolve. Like as creators, that's what we do. We just create different things and it's just being able to put it in different formats. And the accountability. This is what most people and they really appreciate about the group is the accountability and the clarity that they get with their offers. And you get to practice leadership skills, right? Of being a leader in your community and actually reaching out to other communities to be a leader too, right? So are you guys interested in how much it costs? You're like, she's talking, I wonder how much it is. Imposter syndrome is my big hurdle. Yeah, so through practice, that's the only way that you're going to be able to be showing up is how you're going to be able to get through that. And it can be scary, but the more that you practice on your end and then show up is what's going to make the difference. Because then you start trusting yourself and believing in yourself as you do it. Okay. So this is like the full year program. So this is like when I work with our therapists who want like supervision hours. I do provide that. Or artists who, they do want more guided support because this includes 14 individual sessions. Okay. And you get the 3 rounds. So I put some numbers of like, how much does that cost? Like if I were to add everything that you get of working with me for a year, what does that look like? Well, if I added it all up, it literally costs $10,000. I don't have that on my site. I actually charge $4,400 because you're getting the membership, which is $397. You're getting the 3 rounds of our group support, which is $6,600. And then I put all these 21 healing art journal, my book, my deck, all those bonuses. And I do a monthly payment plan. So people like that as well. And I also teach you about payment plans because not everybody, is comfortable like paying in full, right? And so payment plans are an opportunity to be able to work with people or, telling people of like different ways that they can work with you. And so the smaller package, if you want to just do 1 round of, I call it the citrine, 1 round of the Thriving Creative course, you still get the membership for the year and my book and deck and the bonuses, you get 7 individual sessions. And so I put this half the price, which is $2,200. And then it's $220 a month and it's just 10 months. Okay. So when you look at that, you're like, well, is this worth it to me? Am I ready for this? Do I want to do this? Well, the thing is, how much would you pay to learn marketing skills, right? You could go learn from someone that just does business, or you can learn from someone that is an artist and an art therapist, right? So how much would you pay for that? Every time that I've invested in myself, I've always been able to double it or triple it, okay? Because that's the whole point of it, is so that you can learn the skills and then multiply, right? How much is it worth to learn how to make courses or memberships or packages, right? So that you can do your individual sessions and you can include, hey, here's the course on the back end that obviously your clients need, your people need. And how much would it feel, or how much would you pay to follow through with your goals, right? Celebrate. I have some testimonials that are really awesome on my site on the Thriving Creative page. I'll put it up here. And the accountability part, that's what I mentioned, is what they love the most. It's just like, hey, I said I'm going to do this, and then I'm doing it, right? And even today, Carolyn was part of the group, and she's like, I love seeing that Luna, she had this idea about making a deck, and she followed through, and now she's presenting it. So to see other members do it and show up for themselves because they said they're going to do it, it's really beautiful, right? To be in community like that. So you got choices. I am offering it right now. I do not know the next date that I'm going to be offering this, or if it even will stay the same. Okay, so you're welcome to join me in this opportunity. I'm going to put the link here of if you'd like to look on my site. Is anyone interested in doing this? Like to be a part of our group? We do have some people signed up already. Here is what it looks like on my site. So you get the full year versus the 7 sessions, the full year versus the smaller package. Or if you have questions, you're welcome to put in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute yourself. You can put your hand up. Yeah, Jimena. We're going to be starting, I believe it's May 4th. It's a Saturday. Yeah, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. That's going to be our first one. And so once you register, you can go on my site. Let me get the link for you. Once you go on my site and you register, then I'll send you an email which has my calendar link, and you can schedule your first individual session. Or if you want to go through the group program, and then you can schedule your sessions as needed. It's pretty open to you when you want your individual sessions. Oh, happy birthday, Joanna. She's have to manage some creative financing. Yeah, so think of it like this. If you were going to do this group, right? And like I think of Kristen Barnes. She did the group, and by the end of the group, she was able to pay it off. She did the full year. She paid $4,400, but we made a marketing plan, and she was the one who is a recovering addict. And then she went and created groups in her community. So she did in person and was able to make the money back because she did a few groups a month. She went on to like the Saturdays, and she was able to make the money back by just doing the groups. But she just didn't know before of how, like, who to go to, how to contact the person, let them know how much these groups are going to cost. And then putting it together in a package where they're like, oh yeah, let's do this. That's how she made it happen. So it's literally, that's why you do the course, so that you learn how to make the money, right? So you can make it back. She did it within the year. She was able to pay for the course, and then she's continuing to do the group. She actually did it a few years ago. How many weeks is the Thriving Creative course? It is 8. So we do it 8. It is recorded. There's replays if you can't make it, but they're an hour and a half, and those are 8. And then you get 7 individual sessions. Yeah, I mean, I've had people who were, they skipped a session and they were just able to watch the replay. And then I actually found I have a Facebook group for it, but I didn't use the Facebook group the last time. I've decided to use WhatsApp. So we do have a messenger system, and that's really fun because then it gets a little bit more personal, and people are able to share like, oh, I have a question about this. I have a question. What do you guys think about this presentation? Things like that. And that seemed to work out better. So we do have a messaging system where we have that support. Will I show you the content of the program? I've had other programs I thought was really sure about, but the content wasn't what I expected after getting access. I do have an individual session tomorrow. Yeah, I can talk to you more about it tomorrow. What you're going to find is you do have written content that you can look at, but where the gold is, really the gold is in those videos, right? In the videos of the conversations that we're having in the group, right? And then in our individual sessions. So you're going to be learning the skills, like I'm teaching you, right? I'm teaching you how to set this up. Um, that's where the gold is, right? And showing up in that way. But we can discuss it more tomorrow. Yeah. So if you want to have, I'm sorry, I didn't share. I'm going to stop share for a second. I'm going to I'll give you my scheduling link. If there's someone here that would like to schedule a consultation, and you want to dive deeper a little bit, I'm going to be talking to Kat tomorrow. And Kat, I did message you. I don't know if you got my message or not. Just wondering if we can meet a little later. Creative Soul consultation. I'm going to put that here. You're welcome to schedule a free consultation. Again, we're going to be starting soon, like in 2 weeks, right? I'll put this in an email that's going to go out so that you can see the link. Here is the citrine package here. I'll put that here. So even if you don't have the background of email list, you don't have to have a site to start. You could, I mean, I didn't have my site set up when I started taking clients individually. But you can, what we do is we can map it out in a Google Docs, and that's where you get really clear about what your offer is. And then you can start having these conversations with your people, so that you can bring them into your individual or whatever package that you're creating. Okay. Any other questions? You guys had some really great questions. Anything else? Okay. Kat says, nice. My mic and camera aren't working, but later, so good for me. I'll get back to your email too. This week has been a bit busy. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to talking to Kat. What are your favorite apps to market on outside of Facebook? Well, I just do Instagram. I know some people are into TikTok. Sometimes I post on LinkedIn, but yeah, that's pretty much all that I use. But you can also, I mean, when I first started out, I was literally doing like groups in my community. I was going to art galleries and saying, hey, do you mind if I do like a paint night? And they would say yes, and I would do that. And actually Dakota, she's really cool, and she's been using coffee shops and doing gatherings where she doesn't have to pay for the coffee shop, and she's been doing gatherings and building her email list and been really successful. So she's not actually going to be in the course this coming around. Do you have a certification to do art or creative coaching? Do you have to have certification? No, you don't have to have a certification to do creative coaching. And that's what a lot of people think, that they need more certification, another class. I think that it's just the business component that they are lacking. They don't know the marketing part. They have a lot of tools. They just don't know how to like put it out into the world. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Pika, I don't know if I said your name right. Okay, I want to second this. This has left me feeling so inspired and more spacious. Looking forward to working with you. Beautiful. I hope you're going to join us. Now is the time. We start May 5th. And it really does light my soul up to see creatives putting their gifts into the world. Like it just happened today. Luna shared her art deck, and it was a really powerful session. We did soul collage using her art cards, which I haven't got yet, but I'm going to buy them on my list to do. Well, it was beautiful meeting with all of you. I will send a email. It'll have the replay, but I'll also put the link to the course. I'll even share with you my ClickFunnels. I have an affiliate link I can share with you as well. So if you don't have, they have a free trial that if you need a platform, like if you don't have a platform for your emails, you don't have a platform for your site, things like that, you can use ClickFunnels. And I built my ClickFunnels all by myself. And I'm not a tech genius at all. I don't want to say like I'm tooting my horn here. It's just that they make it so easy that it's literally like you watch a video, it's like a 10-minute video, and then you go do it, or you kind of pause it and you do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I did this all by myself because I just followed directions. I was like, it's amazing. So I'll also put that link here too, if you're looking for, if you want to try, if you need a platform. Like I used to use like MailChimp when I first started out, which was cool, but then it got to, I didn't like it anymore. It wasn't as intuitive. I like simple, I like directions, I like being able to talk to people. ClickFunnels has a whole community where you feel supported. Kat says, thank you so much. This was beautiful and I'm grateful to have been here. I love the ClickFunnels trial. Sure. I just put it, the link right here. If you'd like to check it out, it's very easy to use. And there's a whole community around it. I love community. Like it teaches you how to build community because it practices it, right? Where you feel supported, and it's important to feel supported in what you're doing. All right. Okay, everyone, have a beautiful rest of your day. Go get outside. I'm going to go put my feet in the dirt or something. Oh, well, the grass. I think I want grass. Bye. Have a great day.